and welcome to the Random Ramblin' Terracottan Podcast. I'm your host,
Oh,
Shib.
Oh!
It's happened! I did it!
And the world's ending
When
now.
I write things down, I can do things. I'm here. I'm here with my two other hosts.
Zen Gaijin, I guess. I don't know. I was like, oh god, who was go first?
And Sean, Bill Clinton, Bolte. Howdy.
I guess I said Shibs again. MC Wright. I keep fucking switching it. There's no consistency. There's never any consistency.
Welcome to yet another quality podcast.
100% transparency, 0% consistency.
Woo!
That's our promise to you.
We're like water.
Alrighty, I got some news here, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Ant-Man, the actual first trailer, came out today. Have you guys had a chance to see that?
Yeah, and I'm more interested in that game now, or the movie now, God, than I was. Like, cause I don't know nothing about the Ant-Man character. I'm like, he shrinks.
Yep.
And that's it. Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm weary about the movie. The trailer was selling it as an action movie, but it looks like, I hope it's a comedy first and foremost, because like there's moments in the trailer it's like a comedy, but you have this big epic soundtrack going on in the background, so it's like the joke is kind of wasted in the trailer at least. So I hope the movie sells itself more as a comedy action than a action comedy, if that makes sense.
I mean, the only thing I could say, like, I was kind of worried about is like when I was like watching the trailer, there was like very like heavily influenced like thing where it's like, okay, well, it's like good guy gets this power, then bad guy figures out that this good guy has this power and then duplicates it and creates the same thing. Like, so it's basically the storyline, the Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
definitely. Yeah.
It's like I got this suit that gives me all these cool powers. He's like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna make a better suit and do stuff with it. Then you won't be able to
Blackjack
do it because I'm gonna kill
and
you.
hookers.
And I was like, oh okay, yeah.
Okay. Also, I personally started using HBO Now yesterday.
So how much Games of Thrones have you watched?
Well, I've seen all of the Game of Thrones,
So-
but I've only seen the first episode of this new season.
I've seen the first
You
4.
didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say you didn't watch that.
No, I keep it legit.
You're a good boy.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I can't pay $15 a month for one show.
Well, I got the first month for free.
You can't or you won't pay. Yeah, this is
A little from column A, a little from column B, you know.
I got the first month for free. And I will say there's enough content on there. Like, back when I had HBO and HBO Go was in its infancy, Curb Your Enthusiasm was not on there, but it is on now, and I'm sure it's on Go now. So I'm watching the hell out of that. And you know, there's so much other stuff. I will fucking say it right here now. I enjoy the show Girls,
I don't know anything about it.
Chirp,
Good.
Tell me
chirp,
more.
because you
Chirp,
would probably ostracize
chirp,
me.
chirp.
Knew
True.
what it was about. So yeah, there's enough content on there. Last night I watched 47 Ronin, which is just goddamn ridiculous. Like the amount of non-native English-speaking Japanese actors in that movie.
It's too damn high.
It's like, why didn't they just do this in Japanese?
Because
Because people don't do
that's the reason. That's
subtitles.
the reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, the people. I remember hearing like certain people like I can't watch shows with subtitles because it takes my focus off of what's actually going on because I'm too focused on actually reading. And I was like, at first I was like that's silly, and then I was like, oh, well, I guess I can understand that. Like,
I'm fine.
Really?
With subtitles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can
I mean,
understand the
when you first
viewpoint.
get into it, I can understand that, but after you've been watching subtitle
Yeah.
things for so long, it's so easy to do. Second nature.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, anime.
Right?
But HBO Now definitely is. But actually, I had Dukakis test this out. HBO Go too is also being hammered because of Game of Thrones. So many people are hopping on there. So right now, the service is a little choppy. Like picture quality, sound quality is still perfect, but it's choppy.
Navigating.
because everyone's trying to get on there. So, if you're trying to get on HBO, I'd wait a little bit before it's viable to use. I mean, it has a free month right now. So, anyways, in other news, Destiny's second expansion, House of Wolves, has a release date now for May 19th. And I'm not going to be buying any other expansions for that game. I have that coming to me since I got the special edition, but yeah, I'm not pursuing Destiny further
So,
after House of Wolves.
when is Destiny coming out on PC?
Never.
Do they want it to be a successful game?
It's never.
I mean, it's pretty successful.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's successful.
In terms of like
critically
gross income
acclaimed?
versus budget, or yeah,
No, I think it's making its weight in gold.
Yeah, I think they're pretty okay with that game. Like, I've never want to touch it again, ever again. But there's tons of people that they willingly play that every day.
I'll play the expansion levels. I've not done a single raid. I'm not going to put the hours into that game just so I can do a raid. It's not happening.
I just don't care to get better gear to then not to shoot stuff
Well,
more. I'm like,
it's time to maybe get better gear is the problem. It's like, no. And I've had so many fucking arguments with real life friends about it's an MMO. I'm like, it's not an MMO. You're a fucking idiot.
it's a grinder.
especially when it's like when
So-
you can the loot you get isn't dependent on what enemy you kill.
Yeah.
So I can shoot the easiest enemy in the game and get one of the best pieces of gear in the entire like all of the universe of it. And it's like, ow.
We're going to kill boars.
Ah, okay, that's enough talk about Destiny. I hate that game.
Uh, in other news,
Another news. Rockstar has released a trailer for the Rockstar Editor, which comes with Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. And so with it, you can record footage, you can edit the angle, all kinds of sorts. So you can make these in-game movies, basically. So that'll be pretty cool. You guys got-
Halo multiplayer motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's still not, announced for.
Nobody cares. You can still play it.
You have to go through hoops.
Minimal ones. They have the installer together. Like everything's pretty clear cut.
Actually, I heard hasn't 4chan basically modded and made their own server?
It's Mr. El Dorito. And if it's anything like Halo was on Xbox, it's all peer-to-peer anyway. So,
In other news, Daredevil.
Fantastic.
Yes. Have you finished watching it?
I have not. I'm taking it slow because I know that once it's over, it's gonna be a long time before there's more.
Well, that's when I was in the height of my sickness, so I just fucking watched it.
Put it on.
Bill, have
And-
you watched any of it yet?
no, I don't watch TV shows, man.
It's on Netflix, bro.
I don't really.
So you're taking out of my valuable
E-
CS:GO
Oh,
/ Eve
Yeah,
online
yeah,
time.
you're taking out of my valuable CS:GO
Dude,
time, man.
The multitask. You have 2 monitors.
I need to hear. I need to hear
Just
CS:GO.
make
Yo,
it so
footsteps are very important.
Okay. And the last piece of news I have here is Psylocke has an actress, Olivia Munn.
Yep.
That's
That's pretty much everyone's reaction to that. Like, I guess she's Asian. Yep, that works out.
Attack of this. She's Asian. She looks
She's
good.
Asian,
She's got
she's attractive.
I still
Yeah.
don't-
chest to
think
fill
she
out the
can act.
uniform. I mean, she's got some. I cringe as I say this, nerd cred.
I still don't think she could act.
Well, yeah, but she's Psylocke, so she's probably gonna be in the background in like 2 shots unless
that's-
they like
Yeah.
drastically change that character. You know what? Just get Jubilee in there too. I don't care.
I think Jubilee had more character development than Psylocke anyway, right?
She was a vampire.
Mm.
Okay. Releasing this week, we have Titan Souls, which has nothing to do with Demon Souls or any of those games.
It's a combination of Titanfall and Demon Souls.
That would I would probably play that game.
That cash grab though.
You get in your giant, you kill enough of the little grunts, and then you call down your giant titan from the sky, and then you fight the Capra demon, and it's great. Everybody loves it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's basically like a adventure game. It's pixelated stuff. Also releasing actually today, Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. Finally,
It's happening.
it's finally happening.
Supposedly
wouldn't
within an
know.
hour when this is being recorded.
Yep,
Dated
because
the
it's
podcast.
midnight England time, so it's like an hour from now. And then tomorrow, Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
You guys enjoy your games. I'll just be shooting people on Dust 2. No big deal.
Okay. So, all right. So, what are you guys playing? What have you guys been playing last week?
Bloodborne. Still chipping away at it, and what was it, killed Logarius, like this really old man with a scythe that just sits on top of a church casting magic at you because he's a dick.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he sucks. I killed him though, and it was glorious. I've been playing Killer Instinct because Hisako is still great to play. I hit her at level 50 with her. I haven't not jumped back into Axiom Verge yet, just because I've been really I really hit my stride with Bloodborne.
Mhm.
So we'll see if MKX drags me out of it, because I'm probably gonna end up going to the midnight release. And I hate myself being there, but it's an old store I used to work at, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
they got the copies there. Just drive over there when you return your tux. So just slip you.
Yeah. Come on, give it to me.
Like I hate it when you look online and like people are like at a Walmart or something and they see like a copy of a game that's not supposed to be out for a week. And it's like, I fucking hate that they're so lucky to live in an area where these people just don't give a shit and they put the games out early.
I just need to find a mom and pop spot.
Yeah, I tried to do that with the Halo 3 Master Chief release, so I could hop it on eBay. Didn't work out.
What have you been playing, Sean?
CSGO, Arma 3. I think I'm getting dragged back into Eve.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Well, it's good knowing you.
Hey.
He single-handedly affects Iceland's economy by blowing up 30 warships.
No. No, we're planning a hostile takeover of our old corp, and then we're gonna bathe it in fire and bring it back to its roots. No big deal.
Nice.
Every story I hear come out of Eve makes it seem like, this is fascinating, like utterly fascinating.
Even
and then it's like when I see gameplay of it, I'm like, it's just ships floating in space. I don't see anything happening. Like,
there's like 2 or 3 different games going on within Eve.
And then Dust is still a part of it, right?
No.
Isn't it?
I mean, I guess people still play, but no, they've already committed that Dust is dying.
Dust finally became profitable
because
like a month or so ago.
Well, I mean, they didn't release it for PC, and instead we have Legion coming for PC, which is going to be infinitely better, of course.
Isn't that like the
Nope, that's Valkyrie.
spaceship sim? Oh, Valkyrie. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like going to be 3 components other than Eve.
Well, Valkyrie isn't really a component. It's more of a VR flight sim taking place in the Eve universe, and it's going to be it's going to probably delve into a lot of the backstory of Eve.
You know what would be cool is if somebody could be playing Valkyrie and they're the pilot of the ship that you're running all the spreadsheets for.
Let me explain.
That would be cool. I would pilot your ships.
Let me
so
explain something.
They should do something where they make a shooter that is tied to Eve, and then you could use something that would affect the factions in Eve. See,
so somebody can take care of all the spreadsheet born shit, and I can just be their pilot.
See, somebody should do that.
That's the thing, though, is there's a lot more going on than you scratch the surface of just sending out drones or fighters, because Valkyrie is like you're in one of the fighter drones from a carrier. So each of those carriers is like, 10 fighters? So, and as a person who multi-boxed carriers and shit, you have a lot more going on. Like, you have reps and energy transfers in your high slots most of the time. and you're keeping people alive and cap chaining with other ships. It's not spreadsheets. It's pretty. It can get pretty dicey at times, depending on who gets primary or what kind of fleet comps you're up against. But having individual people piloting your fighters would be terrible, because people get distracted.
Roll.
No,
it would be like you're an actual like
No,
spaceship.
no,
like you got a crew.
That's you
That'd be
technically
awesome.
have a crew, but the thing about that is, drones and fighters and stuff get called to primaries. Drones don't fight other drones. Drones attack ships. So fighters attacking other fighters would be a horrible waste of DPS, because you can refit your high slots depending. Like you're generally going to be in a blob of other carriers or other ships you can refit off to. So change your modules in space. So you just change to your smart bombs and you're in a blob. So all those pilots would be fucking annihilated in seconds.
Hmm.
So but refitting makes you vulnerable because you can't cap chain and you can't share your reps with other people. So there's more to it.
It's one of those games I appreciate. I have to just appreciate from afar because I'm like, I love that how crazy this game is, but
Yeah.
I don't have the time to dedicate to it.
Yeah, after playing and not logging in for 2 years, I still check the Eve sites and stay up on news of Coalition XX or like what political intrigue, what's going on in the universe. It's just very captivating. It's dynamic. It's Eve is real.
Pancakes is love.
Pancakes is life.
And I haven't been playing too much since I've been sick. I was playing the other day because I finally figured out how to get it to work. The Rainbow Six Siege alpha,
Mm.
and I will say I actually had some fun with it.
It looks very esports focused.
It is. The
Yeah.
matches are pretty short, because you have like 30 seconds to, like, if you're the people entering, you have 30 seconds to maneuver your little drone around, trying to figure out where the hostage is. And then if you're setting up, you're just trying to put fucking shit over windows, reinforce walls and shit. And then it's just you try to get in the house and get the hostage. That's it.
It looks like a smaller, more intense CS:GO. I mean, even down to the UI. Like
That is basically what it is.
yeah, like the five avatar portraits at the top and the timer is like, wow, okay, so they just stole CS UI. Awesome.
And it's weird. Like there's actual, like, I wouldn't technically call them classes, but there's 5 different things to choose from, and
Roles.
each of them have a different ability. So one guy has a sledgehammer, so he can break down walls. Someone has like on the
Breaching.
other side, yeah, there's breaching. Somebody has like they can put down like a shield and shit like that. But it's for what it is. It's very fast paced, and
Oh.
so you can jump in, do a couple rounds of shit, and then go do something else. Which, I mean, I guess is good because a lot of people are ADD oriented now. Like they don't like to spend a ton of time doing something, but this is where you can either play one game or you can keep going.
Mm,
I'll probably get it down the line. Not gonna buy it at launch because it's a newbie game.
of course.
You like
But-
sinking on towers,
Yeah,
like failing dudes.
you,
It's too
you like
bad. You're gonna
you
do
like
it if you
game
it.
breaking glitches and shit like that.
You like half-finished
Nightmares.
ports.
Nightmare
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah, so it was fun. It's not Rainbow Six.
No,
But it was
it
fun.
doesn't look anything. Rainbow
Yeah.
Six.
Okay, so moving on to our topics of this week. We're gonna start with Zen this week.
What? You didn't go top of the week.
Yeah, I was waiting for it, man.
Okay, all right. Topics of the week.
God, I should really pull off my headphones when you do that.
Well,
Yeah, that hurt my
especially when you ask him to do it.
That hurt my throat.
I am
Oh,
not a smart man.
Hot toddies in your future, man. Get some
Yeah.
honey in there.
I bought a 5th of Crown Royal and I drank probably like
Hmm.
2/3 of it yesterday.
Come on, man. You gotta get some E&J. Do it right. Fuck's sake.
You're drinking like an old black bum, is what you're drinking.
I'm just trying to fucking do a hot toddy. I'm not trying to like, yes.
Well, hey, at least
This is
your
quite
your bag
luxurious.
collection is going up. You know, I mean,
Yeah, man.
there's a plus.
All right, but topics.
Topics.
So
So we're gonna
yeah.
start with you. We're gonna do a Mortal Kombat retrospective.
yeah, I mean, Mortal
Dun,
Kombat
dun,
X
dun,
is
dun,
out.
dun, dun.
It's it's interesting to see this franchise, like, because a lot of people had declared fighting games dead for a long time, because
It-
after like the guff of like Street Fighter 3 to 4, everybody was like, oh, fighting games are dead. But
Mm-mm.
It
Mortal
is-
Kombat never really stopped.
Well, it did and it didn't. Like, there was a lull. Like before Mortal Kombat 9 came out, it had been a couple. Like
It
people.
was like Deception was like the well,
Like,
not Armageddon was the last one.
yeah, people didn't really expect Mortal Kombat to come back because also Midway went under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a weird transition, but like, however, that is one of the oldest like teams that somehow that team or parts of that team is still at NetherRealm.
Yeah, Ed Boon is still there.
Yeah, and it's weird seeing that guy. And I'm like, he doesn't really age that much. He like looks pretty much the same. Like it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see like this franchise that like I was literally a kid and saw an arcade cabinet of, and
I-
like saw a dude's head get ripped off, and I was like, as a kid, I gotta play this. I got to play this game. Like, dude, he just ripped his head off. Like,
See, it's Mortal Kombat had such a lineage too because it not only spawned like the brutal fighting games, but it literally was like it was a controversy.
It was
literally-
one of the
you can
catalysts for the E
almost-
ESRB.
Yeah.
It was. You can almost directly attribute the ESRB to the first Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I
And
remember the first time I saw it, I was at a house because I was getting babysat. It was I don't think it was like an actual daycare, but it whatever. But
Wait, they had an arcade on Mortal Kombat arcade.
no,
machine in the
it was on
daycare?
it was on it was on
I was
Super
like,
Nintendo.
oh my god.
It was on
Yes.
Super Nintendo. And I just remember seeing this game, and then the mother came in the room like, "What are you guys playing?" Like Mortal Kombat.
You literally like as she said that, rip a head off a dude. And he's
Yeah.
like, nothing.
But like,
No.
yeah, I remember the terrible games that tried to cash in on this. Like, I remember Primal Rage.
Ugh. I have a friend that will still defend Primal Rage. He's like, no, it's a good game. And I was like, remember War Gods? That was a game with a 3D button. It was a button that just said 3D on it. I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? I was like, shouldn't I always be hitting that button? Like,
Oh,
Is
what was the 64 game? Was it Mace?
yeah, it was like, well, I can't think of the surname of it. It was Mace, and it was like a big red dude in a suit of
Yeah.
armor, fire sword or something on the cover.
Oh,
That game was bad.
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember the arcade cabinet.
But
of that
remember,
game.
like the other ones, it was like, what is it, Tattoo Assassins and
Oh, what was the Freaks? Bio Freaks.
Bio Freaks, Time Killers, and that was a game that just had to do with a chainsaw. You could just cut all dude's leg off in the middle of the fight, and like you can't walk now. Like,
Clay fighters.
And then
Uh,
also like not even like gory games, but it also spawned like a lot of mocap fighting games.
Shaq Fu.
I can
Jack
almost.
Fu, more Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Oh no,
Wu-Tang.
they'll talk that game. That game is fantastic because oh my god, it has some of the just biggest what the fuck in moments in development where they just created characters that weren't in the movie,
Yep.
like or were barely in the movie. So like Captain Sawada is like, hey, this guy's in like 2 frames of this movie, and he's a character, and he's got the best super in the entire game where he just throws his arms up and runs at you bare chested and just runs into you. He doesn't attack, he just runs into you with his arms up and it does damage. And it's one of the most hilarious things. But yeah, like Mortal Kombat, like the impact it had on the gaming world from not just like, because a lot of things will be controversial, but not actually be good. I can't even think of the name of that stupid series with the freaking you put a cat on the end of a shotgun and shoot it. Postal.
Oh, Postal. Yeah.
Postal is controversial and just stupid. Like, but Mortal
Right.
Kombat is like controversial and it actually like the games are can like continue to get good, like better over time. Like Deception aside, I mean not Deception, but Armageddon aside, they'd all been pretty great. Even though what is it, Baricho is one of the stupidest characters I've ever seen. But
4 was pretty bad.
yeah, and then they did 4 Gold, and it was like even worse somehow. We added load
Sub-Zero
time.
was a weird one.
Oh, okay. You want to hear the ultimate burn? Like, you ever burned yourself on your birthday for like with a gift you bought yourself?
Mm.
So like for
Oh yeah, I
one of
know
my
this
birthdays,
story.
I spent my birthday money to buy myself Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. Because I was like, it's a Mortal Kombat game. I love Sub-Zero, so a Mortal Kombat game with only Sub-Zero, that sounds right up my alley. God damn it, that game is bad. It had a button dedicated solely to just turning around.
Yep.
That was yeah, it was ooh. Oh. Like you had to learn how to do the freeze. I know we go over this every once in a while because I talk about this game, but like when you started that game, Sub-Zero couldn't do the freeze. It was just
Yeah.
like I don't know how to do this.
Oh,
So
that was
I
a
don't
weird
know.
one.
But yeah, it's come a long way, and it's like this one seems like the Mortal Kombat X seems like they put the most. It might be the most expensive fighting game ever produced in terms of just like all the money they had to spend to get the characters licensed, the money, the graphics engine, the marketing, because this has really crazy marketing right now.
Mhm.
Like it might be the most like it might be the most expensive fighting game ever produced, and I hope it's the best selling because their games have like, despite what you want to say, they sell phenomenally. Like even Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe sells gangbusters, which is I don't understand it, but more power to them. Like
Yeah, and it's funny too because the game started out as a controversy, and now Mortal Kombat, it's out there. People don't even really care about it anymore. Like the fatalities and stuff. There aren't parents going like, "Oh my god," and things anymore. It's just like, "Oh, okay, it's Mortal Kombat."
There actually was some controversy about the fatalities in this one, wasn't there?
I don't think so.
Like how graphic they were. Like it's not a big controversy anymore, but there were some rumblings.
I didn't see anything.
Mm.
But I mean, even if there was, it's not on the scale that it
Yeah,
was.
it,
Like, you have to do something really big to be a controversy in video games these days. Like with the general public.
like
Like, remember Mass Effect, the sex? That was hilarious.
like
I was thinking
release
of
a
I was thinking
shitty
of
game.
what was that like hyper violent game that people were like talking about? Like you can kill innocent
Oh,
people.
Hatred?
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, you can do this. It's really bad, and like, I mean, it's a video. I've seen worse stuff,
You
but
could do that
okay,
in Call of
yeah,
Duty. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
Yeah, well, I mean, Hatred was made for that purpose.
yeah. It
It's
was
okay.
made to be like, oh my god, we're gonna get one of those reactions, and people were kind of like, it got that for like a day, and then people were just like, eh,
Yeah.
because it's like at the end of the day, you still got to be a good game. And it just wasn't.
It was green light anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that actually comes out in a month or so or something. But
And no one cares.
yep.
You know what game is supposed to come out this month that has been in development for forever?
Witcher
Remember this
3?
game called Mighty Number 9? That game's supposed to come out this month.
I think they're pushing for a summer release.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember maybe it's just for the people who backed it. The full release is out in April. But I don't know. I want that game to do well, not for the fact that oh man, I really miss Mega Man. I just want Kogi Igarashi to get inspired to make a Indiegogo for basically for Castlevania, because
Oh yeah.
that would be great, and plus it would get him off of mobile games, which is
Well, I mean,
I know he's hating life doing that right now.
Mercury Steam kind of ran Castlevania into the ground with Lords of Shadow 2. I still haven't
Yeah,
finished it, but it's like, what happened?
I don't know,
Lords
but
of Shadow 1 was great.
those games, they're not. You could tell that they're like, this really wasn't Castlevania. We kind of just put this on.
Oh no, 1 was great.
Well, I didn't not to say anything about their quality, but like it didn't quite earn a Castlevania name because it never felt like a Castlevania.
Right, but I mean, like the final boss fight in 1, and also like the secret movie at the end. I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
what
that was
the
like a
fuck?
really cool reveal.
Yeah, but yeah, they totally just dropped the ball with 2. Okay. But yeah, Mortal Kombat's definitely come a long way.
Yep, it's really I'm really glad that it's still around. Even though it's like I don't spend as much time with it as I do with like other fighters. It's like it's just fun to put in and play with
Mhm.
people. Like and it's like I can play with people that don't like aren't as crazy about fighting games as I am. So it's just like fun to put in and do something funny and crazy. And it's like it does have the depth that if you want to go in and learn all the combos and juggles and all that stuff. Like if you don't believe Mortal Kombat is a serious fighting game, watch like that Fatal X tournament they had over the weekend. That had all the people in it, and one guy just going nuts with Aaron Black. So it's
Well,
totally yeah,
one
it's
of the things
totally valuable if you want to play that way.
one of the things I like about Mortal Kombat is the combos aren't hard.
Yeah,
Like fucking Killer Instinct level. Those are just, I mean, like original Killer Instinct. It's just, I could never fucking do those. It's like, why are there so many fucking button presses? Like Mortal Kombat, it's like two directional things and a button, basically. It's like, okay, cool. Anybody can do this. Like, it'll take time to be good, but you can still do this. Like, you can actually feel
yeah.
like you're actually.
There's a low barrier to entry is what they always tell you.
But a high skill ceiling.
Yeah, where fighting games almost feel like have limitless ceilings because it's like as good as you think you are, there's always somebody better.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
it's always
be better.
adaptive.
Yeah,
The one thing I hate, like, I love Evo. I watch it every year. But the one thing I hate is whenever Seth Killian's on there, he's like, "Oh, it's a new technology." I'm like, stop using that term.
you got new tech and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I'm like, hate
It's
that
just
term.
it's just kind of one of those things you gotta accept. Like the FGC has tons of like because it's funny because it's like you see FGC turn it like lingo getting put in like everyday conversations like hearing people say like they're salty about stuff and I'm like that's an FGC thing like
Well, Salty came back. Like Salty was like old from like the 90s and shit.
Yeah.
yeah
But like, I don't know. A lot of my friends have been using that recently and like, shut
Them
up.
damn kids and those stupid streamers. God damn it.
the stream monsters
The
is
fucking
was
Instagram babies.
Oh, Lord.
Instagram babies weary.
Oh, God.
Okay. All right. All right, Bill. So what's your topic this week?
My topic is game balancing and the role of balancing versus the mass or the esports community.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see it in the trends, whereas before balancing was mainly focused towards the greater community as a whole, and now with the rise and massive popularity of esports, the game balancing cues are being taken more from the competitive community, which is all of about what, between 2 and 5% of the actual player base. Recent examples of this are the notorious scoped movement speed nerf that Valve put in last week.
So what did that do?
What it did was when you're scoped in with the AWP, you can't move as fast as you used to be able to. So for things like corner peeking, it puts whoever is mobile doing the peeking at a disadvantage. And this has already been seen over the weekend from, what was it, the PGL ESL tournament. Whereas one of the most legendary AWPers currently in the game, Kenny S, was pulling nowhere near his numbers. And it very much favors the CT or T that's able to get to the angle, the corner first in order to hold it because they don't have to peek. They're already stationary. It gives a lot more power to stationary individuals with the AWP. It kind of, it doesn't really balance it out or give a lot of options as far as like counter peeking and AWPing.
Well, I mean, I can see the counter argument that like if you're looking through a scope, you're probably not going to be waving that thing around as fast as, if you weren't looking through it.
Well, no, it still moves the same. You simply can't move as fast with it scoped in. So
Well, that's what I mean. Like you don't want, like if you're looking through a scope, you don't want to be like moving as like fast
Um,
as you could otherwise.
Thorin, uh, big analyst guy, puts out a lot of videos, succinctly put it as you're no longer putting it into the skill of the player with the tool that they have. It's simply the first person who gets stationary to hold the angle.
Oh, that is true.
It's no longer down to player skill. Because
Yeah.
before somebody, take like Inferno, you've got that long mid, and there's always an opper by apartment stairs going to A site.
Yeah.
With them being in place, it makes it very hard for a T coming out of spawn up to stairs mid banana to peek them and get a shot because they'll be moving slower.
That's true.
So once they pull out of that corner with their shoulder, they can just get nuked.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I've actually like noticed because I don't play too many games that are actually in the esports. Because I mean, what is it these days? I'm sure Call of Duty's in there somewhere.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
Like I think they have their own thing. Like I think there's like a Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's MLG.
Yeah.
I don't think there's the money in it. That
No,
there
there
is
aren't the
some of
numbers
bigger-
either. Like
Yeah.
they pull maybe 10% of what like LoL or CS:GO or Dota or
Right.
any of those
yeah.
other stuff will pull.
Most of the stuff is like LoL, Dota 2, CS:GO.
And that segues me perfectly into my next points of how Riot handles balancing in regards to esports, where literally all of their nerfs and buffs will come specifically from their league championship series. So like if somebody's
I don't know
flavoring
how well
one,
that will work though, because it's like
well,
if
you
you're
know,
like, I guess that game is all that. So like if you, because it's like I'm trying to think of it like from a fighting game perspective. Like if they did all the balance changes based on what the people who win Evo will be, it would be like, well, now this character, these other characters that you don't play are just like even more like not viable because you're just like buffing and nerfing like
they
the popular characters.
the buffs are minimal, but they still increase the usage. Like right now, because of all of the nerfs that they've been handing out over the last like 3 to 6 months, like the viable champ pool for top tier competitive play is larger. But the problem with that is they're just gonna continue nerfing things and bringing in new champions that are just ridiculous. Um,
How many are they up to?
oh god, 140, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty
Man,
diverse.
I can't imagine trying to balance that against like these characters because like I'm trying to think of like how fighting game character matchups like there are matchups in Street Fighter now and I played that game for 5 6 years that I'm still like you put Dawson versus like T-Hawk and I'm like I have no idea how that match works like I understand those two characters separately but in a match versus each other I don't know which one gets the has the like the upper hand
Well,
and then put that with 100 different characters. I'm like, that's ridiculous number of combinations. Like,
well, they all have 5 skills and 2 summoner
mean,
spells. So
still though.
mainly it's simply based on what abilities are like CC, uh, you know, dashes,
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's easier to balance than something like Street Fighter, where there's a lot more
Yeah,
variables, quicker.
Yeah, it still can't be easy, but yeah, I can see where you say that. Yeah.
Well, but anyway, in this balancing, they drop the champs based on their esports performance instead of their actual mass play performance. So it really skews their performance in something like solo queue versus like 5v5, which a lot of champs are set up specifically for 5v5 with their AoEs and CC. So it just makes this disconnect, which it makes it
So-
interesting to say the least.
So how do you think they should handle? Yeah, how do you think they should handle bouncing? Like I'm not too sure about it. Like, do they do polls or?
No, they pull the data and they watch the replays because, like Riot specifically, they control all aspects of their esport. Like they
Right.
have the tournament, LCS, and all that, so they pull all the data, and they watch everything through, and like they watch the play data on the live servers, and go from there. Mostly met with a lot of venom. I mean, there's still some top tiers that haven't been really nerfed at all. And I mean, they can balance it from a variety of places, like anywhere between the items or item recipes and costs, or simply straight up to the champion abilities, cooldowns, costs. And then
Okay.
they just layer it from there. But
Yeah,
it's more about the priority of where they balance the game from.
Yeah, because I remember one of the games I used to play religiously was SOCOM.
Mm.
And that game, not only it was kind of a mess. There's
I
always
used
some,
to have a boss that would talk about the glory days of SoCal.
oh man,
Yeah.
it's a mess. I could talk about that for hours. But one of the things was guns was they were constantly being nerfed and buffed because I mean it was such a vocal community and people would be like, hey, this gun's killing me a lot faster than so and so. But it's I mean you can pull the data and see like where they're being hit and stuff. So sometimes that is true. Like maybe they need to dial down the damage, but uh, it's also sometimes people are just better players. They know how to shoot and stuff. So a lot of the stuff, a lot of the community is just going to be people whining because they're out there and they're getting hit
Yeah.
in the right spots and stuff. So
Yeah.
I got shot by this gun. You should take it out of the game.
yeah,
Oh. Oh God. Yeah.
and it's just that's
Totally unbalanced.
yeah, that's a lot of what it was. But I mean, there was definitely some noticeably guns that were overpowered. But I mean, like, of course, a fucking shotgun. Like,
It kills me in one shot. What the hell is that?
yeah, if you're close to somebody with a shotgun and they kill you in one shot, that's gonna happen.
That's
That's kind of what it's designed to do. Nope.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward for shooters, but where
Yeah.
if that comes from the mass player base or from the 5% of the top.
Yeah, it definitely should be everyone. You shouldn't be focusing just on because you're separating your player base doing that. Basically,
Yeah.
because if you're catering to just one part of it, then you're going to be leaving everyone else in the dust. In the dust, in the CS:GO dust. See what I did there?
Oh. You're a bad man and you should feel bad.
But the thing is, with something like CS:GO versus like LoL, is people don't have these illusions that they can be. I mean, they can be the top tier player for that moment that they're playing, and they make that play, but they understand they're not them. Whereas you'll see a lot of deluded League of Legends kids thinking they're Bjergsen or some
Yeah,
other top tier player.
I would just say I am thankful that I do not have to do that job because that must be a nightmare.
I would
Bouncing shit.
do that job in a heartbeat.
Ugh. No.
I don't mind community backlash. I was born with a spine, and I've
Well, yeah,
further
you have to do
strengthened
community
it.
stuff, but you also have to look at everything to make sure you're not making a mistake.
Well, that's
And
Yeah.
it changes. So, it's yeah.
I understand it's a hard job, but
Somebody's gotta do.
Hmm.
Okay.
and
So-
and for you, Mr. Wright, what
Yeah.
what are you bringing to the table this week?
Well, one sec. I gotta blow my nose.
Blow on this nose, gentlemen.
I've been sick.
All right.
So my topic this week is on season passes.
Oh God, burn them,
Season passes.
burn them all.
yes, season passes. I couldn't think of anything Like I was looking through the topics list, and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to actually think of one for myself. So with Mortal Kombat X coming out, I'm like, well, there's the season pass coming out, and it's definitely a topic that needs to be talked about. It's a lot of games get it wrong, but some of these games actually do a good job. But there's also the question: do we need season passes? Is DLC now? It's now become something that's not an afterthought. DLC
Yeah,
used to be something that's okay. We got the game out. We made the best game we possibly can. Now,
let's give
what
these
can we
people
add to it?
more.
What do we want to do with it? Yeah.
But now it's part of. There's the main game budget and the DLC budget that's in the initial planning of a game.
And DLCs on launch should die.
Yeah, it's DLC on launch is terrible practice. It's terrible. Like if you can have something that comes out day and date with the release date, that needs to be with the game.
CD Projekt Red, I love you. The Witcher is
See,
amazing, but
And it's funny because there was actually some people backlashing about them because they were saying because they have 12 content updates that are going to be free, right?
Yeah.
And then they announced that they're going to have 2 expansions. That's going to cost $30 for both of them, like together, I think.
yeah, I think thereabouts.
Yeah, and that's totally fine because these are full-on expansions. But there's people talking about, like, hey, this game's not even out yet, and they're talking about expansions. It's like they've been working on Witcher 3 for so long.
Yeah.
And they're already giving out free content updates that they're. It's totally and these $30 for 2 expansions, and these are big fucking expansions. That's how you do DLC. That's how you do a season pass.
I mean, from our perspective, yeah.
Considering all their previous content was free.
I mean, yeah, I can understand, like, now people are being like, well, now we're not. The age of the free updates are dead. Like, Valve still does it.
Well,
I mean, we haven't seen a Valve game in years, but Valve does do it.
Yeah, but it's like even people that are like the diehard 2F2 fans are like they haven't made an update that's mattered in forever. Because now they're just adding cosmetic crap. Like so then now that there's like this like PC fan base that they've made a mod that takes it back to the roots.
Yeah.
So there's
TF
no like
Classic.
crazy weapons. Yeah, there's like no crazy weapons or anything like that. And it's like if they do add weapons to the game, they're not something like it's the charge and targe for the demo. It's like no, it's like a new it's like a new grenade launcher.
It's the pro
or
mod
the-
for the TF2 universe.
Yeah, it's like one of the mods I remember they said like they added in all of the original TF2 weapons. So like the scout has his nail gun, like the demo man has his bundle of dynamite, like
Yep.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like and I'm like that. Yeah, that's cool. Like another reason why PC gaming is really great. We're just like the developers aren't making this game the way we want it to be made as a community. All right, well fuck them. We'll just do it ourselves. Like
Yeah. With blackjack and hookers.
screw the video game.
But yeah, so like, that's definitely one of the good ways to handle DLC and season passes. One of the bad ways, and I've spoken about this with Destiny, it's one of the worst ways to handle it. Because obviously they took stuff out of the main game and made it downloadable content.
And that's the perils.
And
Looking at you, Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
and the worst part about this is the pricing on the Destiny DLC. It's $20 a pop, or what was it, 30 for the 2 of them?
People
But
are gonna eat
these-
it up.
These things are only, I think it's 3 missions, a raid, and a couple strikes, something like that.
Gotta get it for that gear, yo.
And these missions take maybe like an hour and a half to complete all of them, and then the strikes, take like 40 minutes each. The raids take a long time, but that's because it's a raid. But this is not $20 worth of content. Fucking, and people will use the MMO excuse. Look at WoW.
What about WoW?
These expansions are
Massive.
they're a little, they're massive. They cost a little more, but they are actual expansions.
They're like full new games.
fucking $20 for arguably what 4 to 5 hours of content is fucking a massive disservice.
Well, considering I paid 60 for Brink, I don't know.
Oh,
Ew.
that's a topic for
I'm
another
sorry,
day.
buddy.
We can do
I
a Brink
will
post-mortem.
remember you.
Goddamn right I will.
But yeah, so it's things like that. It's wrong. It's terrible. That's when season passes go bad. Titanfall. I don't remember how much was Titanfall season pass. Was it only $30?
I think it was 30.
It was either 25 or 30 because I think each individual one was 10 or something. So it might have been 25.
Was the DLC for that game actually good? Because they just give it out for free now, I think.
I
Yeah,
think
they did give it all away for free. Even if you
yeah.
didn't have the base game.
I don't have the base game. Just I
haven't
might play it sometime.
Yeah, I haven't played the DLC. I enjoyed the game, but the problem was that it's only
Not
on
enough of
Origin.
Origin.
No.
So, there wasn't a lot of people on there.
Yeah.
But no, it's a fun game. But one of the recent games that also got it right was Sunset Overdrive. It's only $20. You get the 2 packs and some extra weapons here and there, but it adds hours of content.
And on top of an already great game, like a game that you didn't feel like needed, it was like lacking.
Right? No, that game's not lacking. But we've gotten to the point where season passes, and it's going to happen here soon with Destiny. Mark my words, because the 3rd expansion for that is going to be like a whole new game. Like
Yeah.
And people are like, no, it's gonna be Destiny 2. No, I'm like, no, Destiny 2 is a couple years off, or like a year off. What they're gonna do is the 3rd expansion is gonna be like this $30 to $50 thing that's still gonna be DLC. It's not gonna be a new game, but it's gonna have content that's not gonna be the same size as Destiny proper, but it's gonna be more than these 2 expansions, and that's gonna cost more. And it's just gotten so bad.
I really wonder if they have ideas to pull people back into that game, because they got to know how many people started playing and just stopped.
Of course. They've got
I
the
feel
login
like-
numbers.
The sad thing is, though, a lot of people still really enjoy playing that game.
I mean, is it sad?
It's-
I mean,
It's a weird conundrum, Destiny. It's
'cause it's like
a
if the
fun
people are
game,
enjoying it-
but it's
yeah,
a
the
bad
people are-
game.
Yeah,
You have to
Like,
be a part of a
It's fun, but it's
community
boring.
it's not
in order to
bad,
continue.
and like what is there works. It's just there's not enough of it,
Right? There's
it's
no,
like-
there's zero story.
which is crazy coming off of Halo. You would think that the game would have just really in-depth story, and it's like, nope.
It's Activision.
Every mission is a horde mission,
Yeah,
which is
it's like, hey,
like what the
oh.
fuck?
like I said, I think I said it originally when we were talking about this game. It's like I'm gonna go up to this thing, then I'm gonna send out the ghost. He's gonna go. I'm hacking this thing. Keep me busy, like keep me safe while I do this. And then he's gonna like, oh no, we're being attacked by things. And then as soon as you kill the last thing, he's gonna be like, oh, I'm done hacking now,
Yep.
so we can go to the next thing. And that is every mission in Destiny.
Yeah,
I love those VIP missions.
That's all it is. And it's just like the PvP is fun. It's it's basically Halo,
It's basically Halo, yeah.
but you need to have, and the fucking gear game and that, it's just, I don't got fucking time for that. I don't have time to make that the one game I'm playing.
Shoot in this cave for 4 hours, and you might get a better headpiece, which will let you get one higher level, because you can't get it by just killing enemies.
Because you have to put so much time in that game,
Yeah,
See,
me
just
too.
and that's not okay.
if they did
Like,
that
it-
Diablo thing and put a marketplace in there, they could probably rake in dough off the commissions from
you
that.
know somewhere in Activision, they're like, just do it. It's a good idea. We'll make so much more
Yo,
money."
Activision, I want my cut if you institute a real money marketplace on items in Destiny.
I feel bad talking about the amount of time discussion, because I mean that is something that goes on now, but a lot of people talk about single player games need to be shorter, which is, I'm on the opposite of that.
Oh yeah.
But Destiny
3
falls in
hour
this weird
campaign.
Yeah, Destiny falls in this weird limbo between a single player and a multiplayer game where you can co-op, like, and it's built for co-op. You should be playing it with friends, but
Yeah.
there's no fucking story in that game.
It's like every time they send you on a mission, your main question is like, why am I doing this? Like, like you're trying to get rid of the darkness. It's like, I mean, but it doesn't seem that like formidable. Like it just seems like they're just there.
Yeah,
Like I
like
can just run through an area and just like lay waste to like all of these things, and like it's threatening humanity. And I'm like, is it?
yeah, like your character talks like what, like 4 times
Yeah.
in the duration of that game.
How do we get to talk about Destiny?
Yeah, I digress. Season passes. It DLC just needs to be restructured. It's gone like another bad case recently. Evolve.
Oh.
Evolve should
Mhm.
have been a free to play game with the amount of DLC that they offered on that thing.
So now we're kind of trudging the line between microtransactions and DLC.
Well, with Evolve, I mean, look at it.
No.
Man, that game was dead on
When that
arrival.
game was coming out, it's like there's what, like 3 or 4 different versions, and there was a store on there that you can buy cosmetics for your guns and kinds of shit too. It's built like a free-to-play game, but they're selling it as a full game. It's just, and it's weird because that's Turtle Rock. Turtle
Well-
Rock, who made Left 4 Dead and ported Counter-Strike.
Maybe they aren't getting as big a cut of their CS:GO cases as they thought they would.
So I don't know. DLC definitely needs restructuring though. I'm tired of this shit.
It's not gonna happen until gamers force
Too
it
much
to.
money. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's never gonna happen because I have friends in real life who think the DLC for Destiny is a good deal.
it's never gonna happen until the console playing populace stands up because that's the big cash cow.
But the problem is they think it's okay.
Well, they'll try. They kind of they'll take whatever they can get because they just don't think they don't
No,
think there's any other options.
I used to
Or
think
they-
that as well, but with the decline in price of building a decent PC, and the
I-
backlash I've seen against the PC
I know
community.
people that still won't play a game on PC.
Exactly.
Like, I have friends that are like, hey, you should try this out, like, whenever they're over here. Like, no, I don't want to play it on PC. I'm like, why?
You can just use an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like, I'm like, you can use the controller. He's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
There's no reason.
You
not
have a
to.
PC at home anyway. Might as well make it work for its money.
It's like, look, this is the game you're playing on console. Look how better it runs and looks.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
okay,
you can
I
mod
wanna-
it.
Look at the community you can play with here versus there. You know, look at the depth.
I'm really excited because my coworker is finally buying a PC. After she's just like, I don't feel like I should buy one of these new consoles, like, because I can't play my old games. Like, if you had a PC, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Like, you could just play whatever quote unquote last generation game on that PC in the same box as like whatever new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's such a hassle. And she's like, and then now, like today, she's like, I'm putting my PC together when I get home. And I'm like, once you boot it up and get Steam running and run games in it, you're never gonna be able to go back.
Exactly.
Like,
So, yep. That was my topic. I don't.
Uh,
Sometimes games get it right.
most
but-
games get it wrong.
yeah, most games do not get it right.
Yeah. That's the
It's
road we're
sad.
going. And that, my friends, is how the cookie crumbles.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So, anybody got any closing words?
Have fun playing GTA 5?
I mean,
I'm not gonna triple dip unless I gotta get a better graphics card first.
What
Yeah,
graphics card do you
$28.
have?
I have a terrible. It's not gonna run it. Like it just won't. The graphics card's over 4 years old. It ain't happening.
yeah, the $28 doesn't sound like a bad deal.
No, it is definitely not. Like I'm almost considering getting it when I get some money, like, and then just have it waiting in the wings. Like,
Yeah.
when I get a graphics card,
Oh,
I'll be able to play this.
come on. It'll be on sale in like 3 or 4 months.
I don't.
Yeah.
It took 4 a long time to go down in price.
4 was also a horrible piece of shit that didn't sell well initially.
I still don't. I still don't see it going down for that long,
I don't know.
especially if it sells well.
We'll
Because I
see.
mean, Max Payne 3 didn't make the numbers, so that went down in price. So they wouldn't use the same tactic on something that sells well.
Hmm.
I don't know. Oh yeah, you want to do your little mini review on the S6 Edge?
It's a very nice looking phone. Like, the funniest thing, the story behind this, I had to get Sunday. I had a wedding to go to, and I wake up Sunday morning and I noticed that my phone is not responsive. So I was just like, oh, I must have forgotten to charge it, because I normally charge my like phones through like my consoles, because it just has like a USB cord, and I'm like, oh, I'll just plug it into that and it'll charge. So it's like, oh, maybe the PS4 didn't give it energy or power or something. So then I plug it into a wall and there's no response. It's just completely black. And I take the battery out and put the battery back in. Still no response. And I'm like, all right, try and hard reset it. And just nothing. So I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna need this phone today. So it's like, I could run up to Verizon and they're just basically like, oh, your phone isn't working. I'm like, I think I'm available. I'm due for an upgrade soon. And the lady checks it. She's like, literally, you're available for an upgrade today. Like, today is the first day that you're available. You can get an upgrade. So I was like, oh, sweet. So then she was just like, well, I was like, what kind of phone were you interested in? I was like, I kind of wanted just to upgrade to this one. So then she goes in her back and she's like, we have one S6 left, but there's a guy that has got like a customer complaint. He's like really kind of being difficult about it.
Hmm.
So we don't want to tell him that we sold the last one. So there's like, we can give you an edge. It'll be like $10 more a month, but like it's a better phone. So I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I get the phone and it has like the bevel edges on the screen,
Mhm.
which is probably the best, the most standout thing about it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool phone so far. Like, it has like little, even when the phone's not on, you can read the little size of the screen. It'll tell you the day and the time and the temperature, and then
Oh,
it'll tell you if somebody sends you a message. It'll show you what the message is on the side of the phone without you having to get up to pick it up. So if you're just laying it down at night, I guess that's the best use for it. Like, at night, you can see, like, if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can look at your phone and tell what time it is without having to get up and put in your password or check messages to see what somebody sent you. I mean, it's a little side thing, but it is nice. So
yeah. The only problem I see with that is in my pocket. Now it can. Now even like the sides, if I accidentally touch the side of my pocket and shit, might turn on.
well, yeah, you can turn that off. But my biggest thing now is, like, I was like, how do cases for this phone work? Because if the sides of it are the actual screen, and that's a selling point in the system, how's a case gonna work for this system?
That's a good
They're
question.
probably gonna have folio cases specifically built with like peek throughs,
Yeah,
for the spine side.
yeah. So yeah, it's a cool phone so far. I'm looking forward to getting to learn it a little bit more. So
Why is it $10 more a month?
just I don't. I think they said because, well, one is a 64 gig as opposed to 32.
Mm.
So like, it has way more storage, and then two, I think that the data it pulls from doing like the sidebar thing, because you can get news feed updates on that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
And
it's got a
stock
ticker.
information. Yeah, so you can just straight up get like a ticker, a live ticker, like with stock information on it.
Mhm.
Like, so I guess the extra data for that is $10 more. So I didn't mind. So,
Huh.
but at least I was able to get a phone, because I was pretty like, I wasn't like, the more thing I was worried about is like, when I get to work tomorrow, I'm not gonna be able to listen to music because I'm not gonna have anything to listen to music on, and it's gonna be a really long day of work if I'm just sitting there like, oh, everybody else is listening to music and not talking to me.
Alrighty. Just trying to think if I have any shout outs. Yeah.
Shout out to Ed Boon and the NetherRealm crew and the GTA 5 crew.
I was gonna say shout out. If you're in our Steam community, Mortal Kombat 10, and get a
Yeah, get a tournament going
yeah, gotta do
and
that.
then stream it so we can all watch it.
I can do that. I'm wondering when it unlocks. I don't think it unlocks until tomorrow, but
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's midnight Chicago time. So if you're on the West Coast, it'll be 9 p.m.
Okay. Well, that'd be cool.
Shout out
Alrighty.
to the 10-hour-old CS:GO accounts playing comp.
The dream is never gonna die. Shout out to the people who were playing PlayStation Home at the last minute of it dying.
Did you? So, it's funny. Greg Miller, from IGN.
Nope, never heard of him.
Oh, well, he was the.
Topic of the week.
Yeah. Um, so his new thing, kind of funny, and stuff. They were gonna do Home, the last moments of it, but Sony removed Home from the PS, or not the XMB.
Oh,
So,
so they
like-
didn't know how to access it.
Yeah, so like if you didn't have it installed, you couldn't get to it. Like it's nowhere to be found.
No Animal House chain swing for you, Greg Miller.
So like it would have been funny to watch like him in the last moments of Home running around and stuff, but that sadly was not meant to be.
That's not gonna happen. Womp womp. And the world's a little colder.
But all right, yeah. So that's my yeah, and lucky for the guys who can finally play Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC who don't have consoles. Finally,
You'll
get to
enjoy it. It's a fantastic game.
It is a fantastic game. I have it on 2 consoles already.
Yeah, so do I.
Thinking about triple fucking dip.
But it looks so pretty. It's so
It
pretty.
is. I know. I want to see how it runs on my.
That frame rate. That frame rate though.
No, don't tempt me. Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
So, thank you for listening to the Random Ramblin' Terracotton podcast.
Oh, you got it.
Twice.
I'm one of your hosts, Shibs,
And I'm,
Zynga.
and I'm
Oh,
Bill
so-
Clinton.
Yeah.
and you have a fantastic week.